But the fact of the matter is, the influences from the Islamic State, the Al-Qaeda, who are from the Hanbalis sect, is slowly coming onto India and onto places like Assam. In my travels, I have seen that the mosques which during my childhood were constructed almost like temples or namghars, as we call them in Assam, are slowly becoming Saudi Arabian in the look. A lot of money is coming from outside, from places like Kuwait, and there are NGOs like Al-Harman and such other whether it is Hawala, etc. It is for the agencies to find out. But I can say that there is a sea change in the attitude, both visibly in terms of construction, and then there are people who earlier never used the word, and there's nothing wrong. I'm not making a communal statement here, Sharanji, but the fact of the matter is, when I was a child, I never heard the word Allah, really. Not saying that there is anything incorrect about that. He is a supreme Lord of a particular faith, and he is so is the Holy Quran. But the fact of the matter is, Assamese Muslims of that era never blessed me like that. They always use the word Ishwar aapka bhala kare, or when they go away. But today things are changing, and I can tell you, whether it is for good or for bad, I'm not going to pass a value judgment. But Arabic is taught to children, which is all right. But what I'm trying to say to you is that there is a change in the character by which a social formation is slowly coming to the fore. Now, radicalization has happened, especially after 1999. And I would say that the first wave of radicalization happened between 1999 and 2005, and 9/11 was the most important manifestation of that. And the second one was with the construction of the Neo-Caliphate, when the Al-Qaeda in Iraq transformed itself to the Islamic State, and Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi became the Caliph or the Neo-Caliph, and sort of took over territory in Iraq and Syria. It's either called the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. Levant meaning almost the entire area. Levant, of course, very interestingly comes from the word levitate, where the sun rises from the east. So, that's how it happens. But now with the territorial ouster of the Islamic State from Iraq and Syria, you have them all over the world, and primarily in what was their belief was the traditional area where the last war, almost like an Armageddon, would be fought. That is a Khorasan. That's why the new group which has been formed in Afghanistan after the takeover of the Taliban is the Islamic State of Khorasan province, ISKP. You see, that's interesting. And although reports are quite tenuous at this moment, but the fact of the matter is, Taliban at that point of time, when in its first avatar, did give a lot of aid and help to the Al-Qaeda. And it is reported that Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State for the Khorasan province are thriving in the caves of Tora Bora, if not in Kabul. And the fact of the matter is that they will soon enter the Indian subcontinent. I mean, Indian subcontinent in the sense, like the whole of the Indian subcontinent is almost a truism. As a matter of fact, Waliya Hind, which is called the Guardians of Hindustan, have entered. And there was, in 2014, a televised worldwide message by the Emir of Al-Qaeda, Ayman al-zawahiri, where he proclaimed the Islamic Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent, where you'll be surprised to know that he actually named Assam, along with Gujarat and Bengal and Burma. That's how he said it. I've heard the entire speech. And he says that this is a place where the Kafirs, or the infidels, who are non-believers, that is, the non-Muslims, are oppressing the Qom. And that is why there should be a war being waged against them. Now, after the territorial ouster, I feel that in the next 6 to 8 months' time, there would be a third wave of radicalization, which is going to be very violent. Violent in the sense it's going to be almost 10 times the way we understood it in the first wave, that was between 1999 and 2005. You'll see suicide bombings. First, you'll see, of course, protests against laws which are considered to be un-Islamic. You'll see demand for enactment of blasphemous laws, especially in areas where there is a domination by a minority population. And in Assam particularly, you see that demographic change in Assam, in the lower Assam districts, have happened direct result of the illegal migration from Bangladesh. Now, there is a difference between the Assamese Muslims who have come in the year 1000, with Bakhtiyar Khalzi, etc. And now, they are perhaps more Assamese than I, but the fact of the matter is the lower Assam district population, they continue to be influenced or informed by aspects from across the border. Now, that is dangerous. As a matter of fact, a former governor of Assam, S.K. Sinha, Lieutenant General S.K. Sinha, was particularly close to me, actually sent a report to the then president saying that their time would come when the 4 districts of Assam would ask for a merger with Bangladesh. Now, there was a lot of hue and cry, but the fact of the matter is one had done a careful study. And the fact that many intellectuals of Bangladesh, like Sadegh Khan, etc., have asked that for Lebensraum in the east, meaning, Assam, because you see, you must understand that climate change is also a factor of security. Now, in the next 50 years or so, the Bay of Bengal, because of global warming, 1/4 of Bangladesh is going to be underwater. Now, where would these landless people go? We've had, first of all, economic migrants. The Britishers brought people, the Maiman Singhs, etc. Then we've had economic migrants. And today we have a Malthusian nightmare in the lower Assam districts, which is slowly, burgeoning. The 2021 census is yet to be, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but the 2011 census talks about 26.4% minority population, and you can imagine what has happened in the last decade or so. But the fact of the matter is, with the global warming and the aspects which will sort of accompany it, there would be something called the climate migrants. Now, climate migration, first stop is going to be again the northeast in Assam. And then after a point of time, either they have an electoral victory, and then you have, as many people say, that you have actually a minority ruled northeast, or you have a civil war-like situation. Now, these things have to be taken on quite seriously, whether there has to be a proper border management apparatus in play, which is not at this point of time. But the fact of the matter is that the third wave of radicalization is something which I feel is going to happen in the next 6 to 8 months. And I'll quickly tell you the reasons for it. Because we abut Bangladesh so closely, and because of the atmospheres of the day, whether it is in Afghanistan or Bangladesh, there is going to be an aping exercise here as well. And there are various factors, economic, social, religious, which are going to be sort of at play. And the only way which we can prevent this is, as I've been writing about is to segregate the minority population from the ill effects. I repeat, ill effects of the radical elements. So we have to psychologically segregate them. In fact, we have to sometimes use the minority population to sort of, battle this alien agenda.
Right.
And there are other kinetic methods which one can sort of, dwell upon if necessary.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.